From day one, Jessica was an alert baby, so she'd quite easily go 6 hours without sleeping, particularly on the afternoon, wouldn't it? Sort of from 4 till 10 p.m. she'd be wide awake, and we were quite surprised at first, weren't we? Because we were like, I thought newborns slept.
Yeah. We're hoping for
a sleeping baby, but she didn't. And even overnight she'd wake up lots and she'd be quite unsettled, and by 5 weeks we were like, I don't think something's not right, maybe, because she's really not sleeping and she's crying a lot and seems quite uncomfortable. And found out that she had silent reflux and torticollis, so she's obviously in quite a lot of pain. So we got some support, didn't we? So an osteopath, reflux specialist, did lots of sort of massages to try and help, and medication through the GP and everything, but unfortunately her sleep was really affected, so she'd be up most the day and night, really. She, we were trying to look at all the advice, online of how many naps babies should have, what the wake window should be. It's evident that Jessica didn't follow those traditional, sleep patterns. And also, we weren't able to put her down either. So obviously it's not safe to lie her on her front or on her side. It has to be on her back, which was just agony for her. So all sleep was on us, wasn't it? So contact naps, co-slept overnight. We'd really persevere, wouldn't we, trying to get her in a Moses basket and a little cot that we had, but she just wouldn't settle, would she?
Not at all.
Did you plan to have a baby? Did it take a long time, or was it a bit of a journey as well? Or
so the year before we'd lost her sister Phoebe.
16, 17 weeks.
So we found out on Christmas Eve of 2021. So we knew then that we really, really wanted a baby, didn't we?
Well, we went through that, didn't we? It was horrible, unfortunately. And then so we sort of decided that's when we wanted to. We thought, well, if we've come this far and it's affected us this much, then obviously, clearly, what the positives to come out of it is that we do want to have a child. So we said,
So then we were really lucky enough to conceive.
Well, and then just on that note, there was diaries, there was ovulation clocks, there was everything. It felt very militarised. You know what I mean?
And then, so the pregnancy was really, really anxiety provoking, wasn't it? Because we just kept thinking the same thing will happen again, because it was out of the blue.
Well,
for an 18 weeks.
I was going to go on to talk about that. Sorry. The reason why it was like that, because we went on Christmas Eve. We'd gone for a scan just because at that point we could have found the sex of the baby. We didn't know at that point. This is Phoebe, by the way.
Yeah. And
so we went to get a private scan done, and they basically came back and said there was no heartbeat on Christmas Eve, and we weren't expecting it at all.
Everything was fine, wasn't it? Scans, bloods, checks.
We'd had
the heartbeat the week before.
We had a 16-week check with the midwife who'd done Doppler and heard the heartbeat, so we weren't expecting it at all. So to hear that was a bit of a real, a surprise, but also a horrible surprise. And then obviously from there, then the pregnancy was consultant led, based on obviously the fact that we'd had not miscarriage, I suppose, but miscarriage, so, which was good and bad in lots of ways, because it meant that we had lots of scans, fantastic. However, we walked into every scan thinking of what happened Christmas Eve before, so we were holding each other.
We had to have scans every 2 weeks as well, so
every 2 weeks.
Really hard.
So we were, God knows what the midwives thought of us, because we were on the sonograph holding hands like this every time. Yes, they can hit a heartbeat, brilliant. So and then obviously we relaxed, sort of thing, weren't we?
So that was really anxiety provoking sort of experience, wasn't it? And my pregnancy wasn't good in terms of
took forever.
Nausea. It took forever. Nausea throughout. What else did I have? Vomiting in first and third trimester. Worse in third. Really bad tiredness as well, wasn't it? So it was a really hard journey. And then our consultant wanted me to be induced, but I did not want to be induced because I obviously had to be induced with Phoebe, so I wanted to try and just have a natural birth. So I had some sweeps, and then hello, Danny. So we had some sweeps, and then I started having contractions, but I was still 1 centimetre dilated. So I went in for another sweep, and then my waters broke. And then we went to the water bath unit, didn't we? The bio unit, and we were in there, but then
your blood pressure.
My blood pressure was through the roof.
Which is what you were on medication for in the first place as well, weren't you?
Yeah.
So they kicked you out.
They kicked us out. Yeah, absolutely.
Yeah. Went
Straight to labour ward.
And then, because it'd been 24 hours since my waters broke, obviously, and then had to be induced.
Okay.
But I was in labour for 4 days. It was really, really long and intense. I ended up having 2 epidurals because the first one failed.
Yeah.
And then, ended up delivering a little episiotomy, didn't I? And then they delivered the day after she was born. The day after she was due.
2nd of January, about 3 a.m.
Gosh.
And then I got sent home because I wasn't allowed to stay. So.
But I was still having vomiting. So even when she was born, I was still vomiting. Keep bringing me bowls, didn't they? Yeah. You next to me.
But ultimately, it's a journey.
It is a journey.
That we're thinking about doing again. So ultimately, what I'm trying to say is, as much as you go through such a bad scenario, bad experience, it's difficult. And I suppose what we look back on is that we realise that we are lucky that we are able to conceive as well. That there's plenty of people out there who aren't in that position to do so, and then not only just conceive, is then to be able to have a child as well, which again isn't always afforded to everybody, right? So as much as you go through difficulties, you've also got to remember how lucky you are as well at the same time.
There's a lot there what you've shared with us, that is a massive the well-being journey that you've been on, and all that anxiety that you must have felt whilst going for a scan because of what had happened before. And then also looking forward, like you're saying, to the next potential pregnancy is also a bit like, it's a bit daunting, isn't it, to put yourself through that, again, that anxiety. Obviously the reward is amazing.
Absolutely.
But for all of that, you are going, it's completely natural to feel so overwhelmed with every scan. We're keeping an eye on you, but every 2 weeks you'd be, it's okay. And then as you get closer to that 2 weeks, your heightened anxiety goes up again. Oh my goodness, it's a scan tomorrow, and it's both of you. It's affecting everybody. And so it's really important to unpack all of that and to say, how's that affecting sleep now? What's going? You're going to be there every time she makes a noise to go, I'm here, because of all of that that's happened before, which is completely understandable. She's the most precious thing to you, and you want her to be okay and to be happy. And that separation, you've had that pregnancy, you've kept an eye on her every 2 weeks. She's with you, she's there. You've breastfed her. All through all of that, to now even comprehend that separation of you go to sleep over here and I go to sleep over here is massive for you both, and it's that process that you have to go through, and especially if you are blessed with another pregnancy and another baby, to then go, okay, how does that fit in with my separation from her and being away from her? So there's a lot to consider. And when we look at sleep, we always look at the story, the journey that you've been on, where you've been emotionally, because it will impact when you've had a loss, which you've had and you've suffered. Then that separation is always really pivotal in kind of looking at that, and how are you going to feel about being away from her? You are going to be worried, you are going to be anxious because of all of those feelings that you've had before, understandably.
Like it's that crying, isn't it? So because when she had the reflux, she was crying because she was in pain. So there was no way I was going to allow that to continue, even though there was nothing I could do to stop her. Just being there was made us feel better, didn't it? That we could actually
do something.
Feel like doing something. So like now, even trying to get her to sleep more independently, more so me, I'd say, struggle with the crying, leaving her for long. We only leave her for 10 seconds, don't we? And then we go back in.
It's strange though, because it comes to, for instance, you've seen us just here, we'll let her walk around. So we're not so precious over like, oh my god, if she falls over, I mean,
because she's safe.
But my point being is, if she falls over, she'll hurt herself, obviously, and she'll cry, but that's not necessarily a concern to us. Do you know what I mean? It's the sleeping really more than anything, isn't it?
But as well, her crying is her only way of communicating to you, so she's telling you, Mum, Dad, I need you, I need to, you know, I'm awake, I need you. So it's that as well, and you know, to the heartstrings, that you know that she's reaching out to you, so you automatically then go to her to help soothe her and help settle her.
Especially when she says mum, 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 mum now. You're like, oh, she's calling for me.
And it's that baby brain, it's that primitive brain, like Kate's saying, that communication is just crying. She can't say, actually, Mum, I'm quite hungry now, can I have something to eat, please? The only way that she can communicate with you two, with your, you know, is to cry, and you'll be in tune with those cries. I think she needs this, I think, like you just did, I think she's hungry, you know, you can see those cues. And that's, you know, amazing that her little brain is still developing, still making all those little pathways from the environment that she's in. So, you know, it's developing, and by you responding to her, you know, when she does cry, that really nourishes her brain and keeps it really, you know, secure and safe, and develops all those lovely little pathways in the best way possible. You know, you can't spoil a baby. She just knows you're there by you popping in. From what I've heard, what you said, you do an amazing job and persevering, and that journey that you've been on, you know, must have been really tricky at times.
What was key earlier, you said you picked up on what suited, what was best for Jessica, so that means you really tuned into her. You did it, yes, people gave you advice, you did research, and you know, you had all that information to look at, but what suited Jessica, so that was really good that you're in tune, obviously, with her, not just like, this is what we're going to do. You were picking up on what cues she was giving you as well, which is key.
So just an update on Jessica's sleep from our last videos. So sleep still remains difficult. Jessica will vary in her naps, duration, time, get-ups, how many wakes she has every day. Even if you think you've cracked it and you know you're in a bit more of a routine, it then changes, doesn't it? We have some split nights, some full starts still. So that's still tricky.
This could be down to various reasons sometimes, and I think that it could be teething or a bit of a cough or illness, and you feel like you're always sort of going back to square one a little bit, and it's just there's no sort of consistency.
Absolutely, and I think we've talked about sort of different reasons, like you said, about what can affect the sleep, and you know, talk to professionals around what it might be, and I sort, you know, we've come to that conclusion all together with the professionals, haven't we, that it's not related to separation anxiety with Jessica. She's got a you know, secure attachment whereby she, you know, plays independently, sleeps in her own cot.
Has been since she was 6 months. So yeah, not at all.
No, so you know, we talked about how it can be, you know, quite normal for babies to wake in the night.
She's got herself into a habit, really, more than anything, hasn't she?
Yeah, so we've talked about other things, haven't we, to look at, see if sleep improves, like reducing breastfeeding, stopping feeding overnight.
Just minimising that interaction with her when she does wake.
Yeah.
I think she's a very sociable character. So when she wakes, she wants to be probably around people, maybe. And that could be a reason why she sort of wakes up and so on. And from talking to the professionals, etc., we've got some ideas of minimising that interaction.
Yeah, stopping the feeding,
etc. And we've got some little, pardon the pun, baby steps to take to see if we can make any improvements. So fingers crossed.
Yeah, hopefully we have a better sleeping baby. So just a little sleep update then. So it's been a couple of months now and Jessica was still waking multiple times in the night. She started to show signs that she was ready to self-settle. You know, we've always followed her lead really. So she wasn't wanting to be fed to sleep. She wasn't you know, wanting to be comforted by us to go to sleep. She was sort of pushing away from us. So we did begin sort of, you know, doing our bedtime routine, offering her a breastfeed and then popping her down. There was some initial crying, maximum 10 minutes, would you say?
Yeah, not long.
and we were able to, you know, she was able to fall asleep, wasn't she, by herself, which was amazing. And then we noticed that over time that started to get better as well, didn't it? Like she'd have a little bit of like a moan, like we were talking, weren't we, about the difference in her cries?
Yeah, totally. And I think what really helped is that effectively what she was doing was self-settling, as you talked about. So when she would have this little moan as such as you talk about, it wasn't a cry, a proper cry, it was a moan. And we sort of knew that nothing for us to do here. She can settle herself back to sleep, and often, every time really, she has.
She has now, yeah, like she'll bang her feet, won't she?
To soothe herself,
To soothe herself. And if she does wake in the night, she will do that and roll around and go back to sleep. She hasn't needed us for
months.
Is it 6 weeks now?
Oh,
or longer?
Since she's self-settling herself.
Yeah.
I think it's been months, really.
Yeah. Which is incredible from you know, a baby that never ever slept through the night.
We're now regularly getting 11.5 to 12 hours a night.
Yeah, which is
superb.
Yeah,
which
absolutely.
is a game changer.
Yeah, incredible. She's much happier.
Yeah,
we're happier. And another change that we've noticed is that she'll now fall asleep in the car. She'll fall asleep in the pram. She even the other day went quiet in the jumperoo, and we looked up and she'd fallen asleep
in the jumperoo.
Yeah,
there you go.
So she has learnt to self-settle. She's sleeping much better. So and I don't have to breastfeed her at all overnight now. I don't breastfeed her in the day. The only breastfeed she's offered is bedtime. So that's made a big difference, hasn't it? Yeah,
so for all those parents out there who think it's not doable, it'll never come to an end, we were getting 7 or 8 wake-ups more or less every night, if not more, and we've now got a baby who falls asleep in a jumperoo. There you go.